What's up, guys? So today I'm going to talk about how you can't non-duel your problems away. You can't oneness your heavy emotions away. This is a trap I see a lot in the non-duality community, whereas they say, you can just get rid of your emotions easily, and nothing exists. You're God, I'm God, thoughts don't exist, emotions and feelings don't exist, they're fleeting, and there is truth in that. Emotions are energy in motion. They are a wave of feeling, and it's not permanent. That's true. However, I find a lot of times in the non-dual community, it turns into a avoidance of your humanity, of your humanness. You're like a spirit non-dual robot. No, don't express yourself. Don't have feelings. Love and light, love and light. It's all gonna go away if I just be in the oneness and imagine and feel and sense that, oh, it's all God and it's all good, right? These things are true in concept, and when you experience oneness, yeah, it's all bliss, love, unity, divine joy, effervescing fountains of pure light, oneness energy. That's true. That stuff happens. It's happened to me. That's why a lot of people go on spiritual journeys in the first place, because they recognize that there's more to life. Now let's get to the trap of the non-dual. So we know that everything's one, everything's interconnected. The golden rule is treat your neighbor as you would yourself. The law of one. So if you're treating someone else how you would want to treat yourself, you're treating the self that way. The allness, the oneness. Because we all are interconnected. However, you can't non-dual your own karma, toxic relationships, narcissistic tendencies, heavy emotions, sloth tendencies, addictions, lusting, these kind of not so nice human characteristics and challenges that we all go through, right? You can't jack off 5 times a day and just say, oh, nothing matters, non-dual. It's just God. I'm God jacking off to nothing, and my semen goes into the empty abyss of oneness. You know, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to talk about some practical ways to actually deal with your karma, our heavy emotions, our neurotic tendencies. All right. So I can only speak from experience. You know that tentacle energy, that dark, almost like you got an entity, a disincarnate being, a aspect of you that's not your soul, that's shadowy, that lives in the basement. Those things are real and need addressing and alchemization, lead into gold. So here's what works. You have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. So maybe that's terror, grief, sadness within yourself. You have to acknowledge that that's there. Wow, I'm feeling horrible. These are real repressed, suppressed, depressed emotions that are bubbling up in me that need to be dealt with so I can bring in more light of my soul into my beingness on earth. Okay? So that's the first step. You got to face it. You got to acknowledge it. Look at it. And what that might even be like, it's like piercing into a bubble of emotion and memory and heaviness, subconscious tendencies of, things people don't like to talk about, like murder, grief, existential terror, rape, people that have done horrible things to you, people that you've known sociopaths, you've been a sociopath, we've all done things. No one's able to look in the mirror. It's all blame, 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 blame. So when you cut all the bullshit blaming, blame is lame, you cut that out, that's when there's no one to point at except yourself. So you can actually deal with yourself, face yourself head on, So what it looks like is piercing into this bubble of emotion and feeling, and when you pierce into it, it'll show itself. So you faced it, you acknowledged it, you've pierced into it, then you feel it, and it'll feel horrible, right? It looks like crying, purging, throwing up, kind of like an ayahuasca ceremony. However, you don't need ayahuasca for this. So you pierce into it, you feel it. Oh my God! You really kind of don't drown in it. You still maintain the level of the neutral observer. You still know what's going on. You still, on the back of your mind, know, okay, I'm feeling a heavy emotion. I'm not this. I just have to temporarily let it flow out of me. So you do that. And it might be 10 minutes, it might be an hour, it might be a few days, it might be weeks of purging. It depends, dark night of the soul. Or it could be 5 minutes, it could be 30 seconds, it could be whatever it is. That also might look like having a conversation with someone and it's uncomfortable topics. However, you can't non-duel this stuff away. That's what I'm getting at. That is an avoidance. Void dance. You're dancing around the void. You got to dive into the void and see the jewels that it has for you, right? The dragon is guarding the treasure. You got to slay your dragon. Then you get your treasure. It takes courage. That's the number one thing. It takes courage and a lot of times forgiveness. Forgiveness is freedom and courage to go into the unknown, into the depths of your unconscious. Right? Once you clear up the basement and the unconscious, that's when your spirit flows into you. Okay? So, face it, acknowledge it, feel it, and then you free it. Once you're done feeling it, eventually you'll be done with feeling it. It'll just go away. And you'll feel lighter. Your heart will feel lighter on your feet. You don't have these grudges. You've forgiven yourself. You're not holding yourself hostage with these repressed, suppressed, depressed emotions, thoughts, and feelings. And remember, thoughts tie into emotions too. So if you're having weird, neurotic thoughts about hurting someone or hurting yourself or committing suicide or these kind of crazy things, it's also associated with a feeling. And associated with a belief system too. So you got to dive into yourself and say, wow, why do I want to hurt this person? I don't actually want to, but I keep having these weird thoughts. So maybe you look into yourself and you do the practices. You meditate on it. You sit in stillness. You don't non-duel it away. You don't oneness it away. It's not real. Anytime someone even has oneness experiences or goes deep into oneness or live in that oneness state as we can, as I do a lot, as you do, it's not that hard. That means you've done enough inner work to be able to do that, right? You can't just, some people get lucky and they kind of pop once and for all and they're popped. However, most of the time, that's not how it works. You got to deal with your shit. You got to deal with your karma. Okay? If you're going to truly awaken, all your astral bodies and all your past lives and all your future lives, all these timelines, all the blah, 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 have to come into congruence with your authenticity, your authentic alignment of your spirit in this life now. All the other stuff doesn't really matter. Who even cares? Just bring it into now. Heal the past for the now, right? The past and the future touch. That's the now moment. That's right this second. So feel it, face it, free it. Face it, feel it, free it. That's the practice. 3 easy steps. PAIN stands for pay attention, integrate now. We're not meant to be in pain mentally or physically. So if you're in pain, focus inward and find out what it is and be a deep diver and explore the emotions and feelings. And usually it's just associated with childhood trauma, the way your parents did something, an event that happened. You know, it's not that deep. You know, you can dive into it. And once you do this, you'll find underneath these naughties, uncomfortable, sluggy type energies, entities, unconsciousness, once you integrate it and heal it, you'll find your soul, which is naturally loving, compassionate, happy, joyous, peace, cuppeth runneth over of energy. You will have more energy because you're not draining yourself with these unconscious patterns and emotions weighing you down. So look at it. This is my last analogy, like going to the basement. And the deeper you go into the basement and the more you clean up in the basement, it springboards you like a trampoline into the cosmos of the light of your soul. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.